The fight against climate change offers a unique opportunity to boost long-term economic growth and sustainable development. But it also requires support from richer nations to the most vulnerable ones in their efforts to adapt to the impacts of climate change and move towards a more climate-friendly development. The European Union is the world's largest contributor to international climate finance, and it's committed to scaling up contributions towards the joint international target of $100 billion per year by 2020 to support climate action in developing countries. The investment effort needs to be shared among countries in a fair way. To keep climate change in check, finance needs to be mobilized from a wide variety of public and private sources.
The EU devotes at least 20% of its budget to climate-related activities. Now we will give 2 billion euros per year as grant funding in order to help developing countries to deal with climate change. On top of this, the European Investment Bank will also dedicate 2 billion euros to help developing countries in their action for climate change.
Support is especially needed in the poorest and most vulnerable countries, including small island developing states and African countries. With the launch of the new phase of the Global Climate Change Alliance, the EU will invest 350 million euros to help them adapt to the consequences of climate change. The EU will also support poorer countries in their efforts to build up resilience to climate-related events and reduce disaster risks.
The investment needs in our partner countries are substantial. National budgets and international aid alone are not enough to adapt to the consequences of climate change, cut emissions, and shift to low-carbon economies. We need to make the best use of public funds and leverage more climate finance, including from private sources. Only then we will be able to meet our common climate objectives and achieve sustainable growth.
Human activity is changing landscapes, soils and vegetation. The EU is working to ensure that land is used more sustainably. We need to produce more with less. That means supporting climate-smart agriculture, improving food security and managing forests in a sustainable way. The European Union will play its part in achieving ambitious global climate goals, including scaling up public climate finance. But further efforts are needed by all countries. Creating the right conditions to shift private money towards green investments is vital. Carbon pricing is one key component to drive this change. Phasing out fossil fuel subsidies is another. The EU firmly supports developing countries in their long-term transformation to low-carbon, sustainable and climate-resilient economies.